Hey Sister Queens, I'm Angela Bond, aka Mrs. Curly 007. Welcome back to Crowns and Curl Space, where Sister Queens meets curls. If you are new here, this is a virtual sisterhood community where we elevate the crown of your hair, the crown of your mind, and the kingdom of your body and spirit. And in this special edition of Crowns and Curl Space, you all get to join me as I travel during this, journey of being pregnant with fibroids. This message, or I guess this vlog or space, is extremely important for me to share. For those of you who are new, I have been covering fibroids in greater details. I have been doing a series on fibroids, so do go back and check out my videos on that. This is actually like I said, special portion or special addition to the channel where I share with you my personal journey of being pregnant with fibroids. So if you feel like this video is something that, gives you some value, please make sure to like. And also, like I said, if you are new, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you can check out all updated videos. Look at my past videos on fibroids where I go into greater details about them, and also so you can follow me on my newly vlogged Faith Over Fibroids, the pregnancy edition. Okay, so again, I just wanted to share this moment in my life because I feel like it's extremely important. As I said before, I'm personally dealing with fibroids and have been prior to even being pregnant. So again, a few months back, I was told before pregnancy, like I said, that fibroids was discovered during an OBGYN visit, and the news came to us, at a very vulnerable moment in my life, actually, because my husband and I was actually trying to conceive, so we decided we wanted to make a baby. And, after I got that news, right away, they jumped right into, my options on what they felt was the best, route to take in order to combat these fibroids. And again, this was before pregnancy, so prior to pregnancy, all of which I rejected without hesitation. Like, I rejected anything, all the things that they suggested, I actually said no to them. But anyway, before I go into all of that, I do want to share this quick disclaimer with you. Now, this content is solely based on my personal experience and research. I always encourage you guys to do your own research and make informed decisions when considering anything discussed here. I am not a licensed physician, nutritionalist, or dietitian, and I'm not giving you any medical advice. That's for you to determine for yourself, as we're all different and at various stages of our health. I am simply a woman that's personally going through this and, just sharing it with you all. So I am looking at my notes, so forgive me for that. All right. So Matthews 9, 20 and 21. There was a woman that was diseased with an issue of blood for 12 years. And she came behind Jesus and said within herself, if I may but touch the hem of his garment, I may be healed, or I shall be healed, rather. So let me just take you all back to, the moment I got this news about, the fibroids. So it was about August 2020 when I got the, confirmation, actually. Like, that was the news. That was the final results from tests and all those things. Now, if I take you back to December 2019, it was when I actually went and got my IUD taken out, because, like, upon, my husband and I making the decision that, we're going to, start, trying to make a baby. 2 years, actually, barely 2 years into marriage. So newlyweds and all. And guys, forgive me because I am winded. That is what happens when you are pregnant. So I am winded, so forgive me. No, I have not ran a marathon or, run up and down steps. I'm just simply carrying a baby. So forgive me, because I'm sure my microphone is picking up the heavy breathing. But yeah, so the ultrasound, like I said, they confirmed that fibroids were found. So going back to 2019, After taking my IUD out, my OB, just gave me the normal rundown of what to expect upon conceiving and what apps to download to monitor or follow your ovulation and, put in everything that you're experiencing. She, mentioned, the average time it will probably take us to conceive and all those things. So this was before fibroids. August 2020, we're well into trying all those things. So I'll get into that a little bit more. So the options that she told me were that we could remove the fibroids. So we can remove the fibroids, she said, but also be mindful that there's a possibility that you would, suffer from a partial hysterectomy. So now you guys see why I'm kind of like, yeah, no, that's not gonna make any sense. Here I am, 29 years old, or 30 at the time, I believe, 30 years old, wanting to conceive. You just saw me December 2019 where I took my IUD out. We had this whole conversation about me, wanting to be pregnant. And so this is what you come up with. So I'm supposed to allow you to attempt to remove the fibroids. And also, there's a strong possibility that I'm going to suffer from a partial hysterectomy or hysterectomy, in which case I'm not going to be able to be a mom ever. No. And the other option was, I guess before I dig into that, I'm going to focus a little bit on the removal of, fibroids. So a lot of women don't understand the fact that when you remove fibroids, they can come back because the actual procedure only deals with the symptom and not the core, of why your fibroids have grown. A lot of women don't even know that they have them. Fibroids tend to not have symptoms. Sometimes women are not even aware that they have them until childbearing years. Now, again, I did do a detailed video on this, so if you would like to check that out, go back and check that out. What are fibroids is the title, and I talk way more about the different types of fibroids, location, blah, blah, blah. Go check it out. So the other option was to place me on artificial hormones so that we can regulate your flow. I'm going to say flow because we probably have some men watching. Love you guys. Thank you for watching. To regulate your flow. Now, I want to touch on that because artificial hormones, birth control, again, doesn't make sense, right? I'm trying to conceive. Why would I want, to be placed on something like, birth control pills? Now, they talk about regulating your flow, and these things go back to, and I'm trying not to be teachy. This is supposed to be a blog, but this is my story, and y'all, this is my style, actually. I do like to educate you. I like you to check out a video, and I can't help it. This is what I'm literally going through, so I have to be educated myself on what's going on with my body. So it's a habit. I can't help myself. And I want you guys to know what these things mean, because when I was given this news, I didn't know, right? So I'm stuttering because I can't get it out. The cause of one of the symptoms of fibroids, one of like a big giveaway that you may have fibroids is heavy flow. I'm trying to keep with the term flow, but heavy flow, like unusually heavy, right? And not only that, but it could last longer than your regular days. I had a regular flow, right? 5 days, 28 day cycle, 5 days flow. Yeah. And so with the hormones, if your hormones become imbalanced, this is when you start to experience things like, irregular flow or menstrual cycle, heavy bleeding, pain, all these signs and symptoms that I had no idea, I didn't know at the time. that these were signs and symptoms. So the main two main two hormones that are required in order for a lady to conceive are estrogen and progesterone. I speak a lot about estrogen in previous videos, but progesterone and estrogen have to be balanced in order for you to even conceive. In order for, your eggs, when we go through a cycle, it's literally your body preparing itself for conceiving. So the release of the egg to be fertilized. I should do a video on this. But we are talking about pregnancy, right? And we're talking about fibroids. So I do want to, talk a little bit about that. So hormones have many, important effects of the women's health. Again, the female sex hormones, progesterone and estrogen are both required, and they're well known because they influence the woman's reproductive, health through your menstruation, through pregnancy, as well as your menopause and even more. So that's what was going on with me. And I personally didn't feel comfortable with having someone cut me open and require, be exposed to the world, especially during this time. I'm sorry, my mom, you might hear some noise, but anyway, I'm gonna keep going. So I didn't want anyone to cut me open, potentially take away my ability to be a mom through partial hysterectomy that they had no way of guaranteeing. And not only that, but my spidey senses and my, conspiracy theorist portion of me was just thinking, I'm sorry, as a woman of color and in America, I'm talking to my sisters right now, there's been history of, just things happening to where, we are vulnerable to someone that is going to do surgery on us, and we've been unknowingly or did not give authorization of being, sterilized and all these things. You'll see why I feel this way because, some things were said to me inappropriately in some visits, and I'll touch more on that later. And so, I didn't want to do the surgery. I didn't feel like that was a good idea. And you have to be mindful of your emotions, especially during a moment like this where you're trying to conceive. And we are in a microwave society where we are constantly wanting things quick, right? We want it immediately. We want a quick fix. And so a lot of ladies are not knowing, I want to be pregnant, I want to, conceive, and if this is going to help me, let's go ahead and schedule it, not thinking about all the different things that could happen from, having a hysterectomy. You can have that can happen where it takes your ability to ever be a mom away, being exposed to the outside world and causing, infections, or anything can happen. So I didn't feel comfortable, and I didn't want to move on emotions because I wanted to, conceive so badly. Something within myself was just like, pause, pause, and, think about this, right? Take your time. This is serious, because when I asked her, well, what is the procedure of the removal of fibroids, she was like, oh, well, we just cut you, do an incision, remove, take your uterus out, and she's talking to me as though it was just a normal thing, and I was freaked out. I'm like, so you're gonna take my uterus out of my body? Like, what? So no, that didn't sit well with me, and nor did the artificial hormones, which are well known for being, tied to cancer. So I said, well, I'm gonna have to think about this. I'm gonna have to talk to my husband about this. And so I did leave there, kind of upset. I left there feeling a little defeated because I haven't had any form of, anything, sickness, anything like that where I had to, be told these are my options for something dealing with my body. I haven't even never been under any anesthesia or anything like that. So in a parking lot, I felt a little defeated. I felt sad. I didn't know really what to do, but do what all Christians do. I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ, so we gonna pray, okay? And so I was sitting in the parking lot, and I remember praying to God, just asking Him to show me a natural way to combat this? Like, how can we deal with this the natural way? Because I didn't want to go through any form of someone cutting me open and all of that, and then, going under and all. I didn't want to do that. And there were so many things that, were going through my mind during that time. Like, during this time, I was very vulnerable, and I felt at some point, like, less as a woman, I remember trying to conceive and trying to figure out what is wrong with me. And this was before I got the information that fibroids were involved. And, just the idea of not being a mom did make me feel a little less, like I'm a woman, I'm supposed to be a mother, And so I waited so long for this. Waiting until I got married, and I wanted so badly, to have a child that, receive love and could reciprocate love. And, initially I just really didn't know what to do. I remember initially I didn't want to share the news with my husband. I really felt like I didn't know how he was going to take it. I didn't feel like he may not take it well. And I didn't really want to share it with my family or my church family for that matter, because for one, I didn't know a lot about it. And two, I just didn't know how to deal with it. And then, like I said, there's just so many things going on in my mind with wanting to be a mom. And now I have to deal with this, like, what am I going to do? And so that was my prayer. My prayer was, God, show me a natural way. Like, I was so headstrong on not allowing anyone to do, anything, all the things that was suggested. But I continued to pray and listen. I remember, before I even, I even knew at the time about fibroids. I remember like 5 a.m. in the morning. I get up every morning that's my prayer and meditation time before I work out. And I remember like praying. I remember crying. I remember praying over my wounds, just like, Lord, help me. I don't know what's going on. I just felt like something wasn't right, and I desperately wanted to be a mom. And I just believed that I would. So I'm a fighter. So like, you can't tell me I'm very like headstrong. And so I began to do my research, and I began to learn a little bit more. I began to find case studies about women who, were able to, eliminate fibroids through natural, practices. I came across, nutritionalists and certified herbalists and, of things that I can do. And I began to gain more and more confidence. And so I started sharing. I remember, though, before, like, I still was trying to get a little bit more information, and my husband and I was walking on a walk, and I was like, after I decided to tell him, and I remember telling him, look, I really don't want to talk to anybody about this. I don't want to talk about it with the church right now. I just didn't really want to talk about it at that time. But as I began to do my own research and find case studies, I found one woman. She had like 51 fibroids that she eliminated. Like, I'm nowhere near that, but the fact that she could do it in a natural way, like, that gave me hope. So I decided, like, one Sunday that I was with the church, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to share this news. I'm going to share this news with my church family. Because, I was silent and I wasn't saying anything. And I'm going to tell you that the enemy, and in the church community, the enemy is the devil, okay, will try to silence your voice and fill your head with doubt and, just all these things that you have to pause and ask, like, why am I being attacked this way mentally? What is it really? Why is he attacking me and giving me all these doubtful thoughts? And so, I just continued to pray. And just thinking about all those thoughts, it just gave me more and more like determination to fight those thoughts, because again, it's a lot of times you hear people, especially in a Christian community, they always talk about, they want to be called by God, they want to be used, but they don't have any idea how that's going to look. Like, they don't know what that looks like. And so when you're faced with that, and with what I was facing, I felt like it makes more sense for me to share with my church family, and have those prayers going up for me, You know, in the book of James, it speaks about, you know, if you are sick, you let the elders of the church pray for you. And so like that's your weapons of warfare. Like you have to open up your mouth and you have to pray. And so for me, I decided, you know, I wanted to bring them along on this journey because I felt and I knew within me being the soldier that I am, I'm like, I'm going to get the victory and they're going to be witness to it. So I'm going to tell them what's going on. So I did. I talked to them. I told them, hey, I was told I would have fibroids. You know, you know, this is threatening my ability to conceive. I was never told that, oh, you can't conceive. But with fibroids, they can contribute to you being, you know, like having a hard time conceiving because depending on the location of fibroids, and there are multiple types of fibroids, actually 3 types of fibroids, and they're named according to the location of, you know, of the fibroids. And I talk a lot about that in the videos that I have already posted. So go back and check that out if you want to know more about the types of fibroids. But they can contribute to you not conceiving or give you, you know, a harder time because of the egg having to be implanted. It's called implantation. And the fertilized egg, the journey is not over once the egg has become fertilized with the little swimmers. The egg has to make it to the uterus and it has to implant itself into the lining of the uterus, and sometimes fibroids are located in the lining of the uterus. So yeah, that it was posing a threat. It wasn't like something that was not going to happen, because there's a lot of women that actually don't find out that they have fibroids until after they're pregnant, right? So I shared this with my church family because I knew I was going to get the victory. And again, this information was shared before I was pregnant, right? And, you know, going through all of this, you know, I shared with my family, I shared with friends, I shared with people that was close to me. And even those close to me, you know, they couldn't see it. Like some of them even counted me out. I felt like, and, you know, I still spoke boldly against, you know, those limiting beliefs. Like I still, you know, those thoughts, I spoke against it. Anything that would enter in my head, I just rejected it, because I realized real quick after, you know, having like close friends that started to share with me their experience, and they didn't even know that I was battling the same things, because women tend to suffer in silence with fibroids. They tend to not say anything out, and that's exactly where I went. That's where I started. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to share with my family. I didn't want to share with my church family. I just wanted to kind of keep it to myself. And that's when I realized this was bigger than me. And that's when I realized that I had to speak up even all the more, you know, because it was bigger than me, you know. And, you know, that thought of it, this moment that I'm going through and it being bigger than me, reminded me of the story that my mom shared with me way before I was born. She was actually pregnant with me, and, you know, she was a young wife. And I was the fourth. She was having us back to back. And I was the fourth. And, you know, she was young and she was looking around and wondering why all the other ladies are not pregnant. I'm the only one that's pregnant again. And, oh my God, what am I going to do? It wasn't that I didn't want this child. She didn't feel that way. It was just more so she being young and, you know, just feeling a little down. And this was her sitting during the church service. And pastor actually came up to her, not knowing. She never verbally communicated her feelings, but I guess he sensed it and came up to her and told her, stand up. And he said, you know, hold your head up, because the child that you're carrying is for the glory of the Lord. And I'm just going to say, we all are here. We have a purpose. A lot of the times we wonder why, you know, when we go through things in life and we feel like nobody understands us, nobody gets it, you know, actually that's not true. I mean, if you think about it, you're watching my video right now because either you're going through this or someone that you know is going through this. You searched this and wanted to know more about being pregnant and having fibroids. And see, that's what I mean by us we're all connected. We all have a purpose, and it helps if we speak up, because it lets the other person know you're not by yourself. I mean, I don't believe that we're not meant to help each other. If that was the case, I mean, we're all here together in this world together, right? If we weren't connected, if we weren't meant to help each other out, we'd all be somewhere on a deserted island alone. But that's not the case. We're all here. And, you know, it's something to think about, because when you speak up, you know, I feel like personally, especially in the church community, you know, people of faith, I mean, we're human, right? And we struggle. We can struggle. People can struggle with their faith and not know really what to do. I mean, their faith can be hanging on by a thread. And, you know, we're always, you know, having to go, you know, come across these different hurdles and things like that. And so, you know, here I am fighting with faith, and me deciding to be bold, you know, and say, you know what, I'm going to share this with people, with the people of faith, the very people of faith, because like I said, we are in church, but we struggle every day, you know. And me speaking up was in a lot of ways igniting a lot of people's faith, or reigniting rather, because I'm going to share with you, this is what I'm going through, and I'm going to tell you that this is what I believe is going to happen. And this was prior to me being pregnant. I'm telling them that we're trying to have a baby, but this is what's happening. This is what they said that I needed to do, but I don't agree with that. I'm going to do it this way, and being bold. So I kept going, because again, a lot of the times, you know, even though you have to understand that the people around you, they don't understand, or they can't see it because they just can't see it, because sometimes God only speaks to you. He only gives you a word or a vision that only you can see. So, you know, sometimes you have to use, you know, sometimes we're used to strengthen other people's faith. And so you have to, you know, be mindful that, you know, you have to be bold. You have to be bold in your faith. And so, and I'm looking at my notes, guys. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. So again, just after sharing that and coming across all of these different things, you know, doing my research, case studies, and all that, I had to go back to my OB, because to talk to her about what she thought was going to be, when we were going to schedule the best time to begin the surgery, because again, I told her I had to think about it. And I was loaded with like case studies and knowledge and natural strategies and all those things, and my faith was strengthened all the more. And I knew because I was led to the information that I was heard. I was heard in that parking lot when I said that prayer. So I let her talk. I let my OB talk, and she was almost bragging about, you know, how many fibroids she's taken out of somebody and all that. So I let her talk, and then I told her, I said, you know, we decided that, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm gonna say no to both of those options, and we're just gonna, you know, move forward with the holistic approach. And as I talked and started sharing with her about soybean oil and how soy has its own plant estrogen that can interact with our estrogens, the estrogen hormone in our body, and how it can increase our estrogen levels and cause us to have an imbalance, which then causes all these other issues. And I started telling her about the case studies and all that, and she couldn't do anything but say, you know, you're right, you know. Or, you know, another patient was telling me about, you know, estrogen and the diet, like going through diet changes and things like that I mentioned to her. And then now you're saying, well, you're right, or I heard that from someone else. So in my mind, I'm saying, well, why are you agreeing with me now when the first thing that came out your mouth was, we're going to have to do surgery and remove and da-da-da-da-da, like, and not even thinking about any other options. So, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, see, if God calls on, if you call on Christ and you ask him to show you a way to do something, and he begins to show you these things, like, that's not, you know, that's not for everybody else to see. Now, he shows you things that not everybody else is meant to see. You have to be bold in your position of faith. And that's what I was at church, and in declaring everything in front of people who just didn't get it. They were, oh man, I hate that's happening to you, and you know, oh, what, you know, these are people that, you know, again, they're human. and they mean well. And then me again telling, traditionalists, physicians or medical professionals that I'm not going to go your route. This is what I'm going to do. You got to be bold. You got to be bold in your faith. You have to be bold in your faith. Can you hear me? I have to say it again. You have to be bold in your faith. If you go to God, you ask Him to show you something, you gotta be willing for people that's gonna come at you and say, well, what if? And they're gonna come at you that way. And but once you do that, once you decide to be bold in your position of faith, oh, what alarms you sound off in hell. You sound those alarms off in hell, saying that you're gonna trust in your faith, and that you're not going to look at the things that, you're not going to go by what things may look like. And, you're not going to go by your current situation. Oh, the alarms you set off in hell. Yes, honey, you put a target on you. And, just spiritual warfare that you declare. When you boldly subscribe to Christ, in spite of what everybody else says, in spite of what everybody else thinks, in spite of their actions, of the news, you still have to stand bold. And see, when you decide to make a fool of the devil, when I decide to make a fool of the devil, I'm just using me as an example. He began to throw everything he could at me to break me, to show. Oh, y'all, so I'm sorry. Got a little, we had an interruption. The devil just does not want me to get this out, but I'm going to get the rest of this out. So like I was saying, he threw everything he possibly could to try to break and shake my faith. Now, did I slip into the current of, some of those attacks? Absolutely. Because I am human, and it is a struggle. But did I stop praying? I did not. In fact, my prayer life just was strengthened in the midst of all of this. In the midst of all of this, I stayed focused. I kept working. I kept focusing on my health. I kept incorporating the natural practices that I had come across during my research. I kept reading. I just kept the faith. Like, I kept finding more reasons to keep going. And, I just continued. And I will, I definitely, get more into all of the things that I did to incorporate into, my regimen in order to help me, or what I believe that helped me to become pregnant. Because you got to remember, y'all, this was all in the midst of everything that's happening, of everything saying, nope, this not going to happen. Nope. Like, you're hearing all of these limiting beliefs, and even from people that you love and care for you, not seeing it. You know what I mean? And I just can't wait to get into all of those things. I can't wait to share with you everything that I did in order to be here. Of course, this was the intro. Of course, you guys, I have to give you a powerful intro to this vlog. I have to, bring it to you. I got to come to you guys strong with this. This is powerful. This thing is called faith over fibroids. So I have to bring it, y'all. So in the next videos to come, I will definitely get into greater details on all of those things that I did, that I incorporated, because here I am now, over 22 weeks, going on 23 weeks pregnant, almost, 5 months pregnant. No treatments, no type of procedures done, no any of those things. Like, I stood firm on my faith. I asked God to show me, and He showed me. And when He showed me, I put into practice the things that He showed me, because I said, no, you're not going to give me, you're not going to cut me open. You're not going to potentially give me a hysterectomy and take away my ability to be a mom. Like, you're not going to do that. Everything in front of me was saying that wasn't going to happen. Even though they didn't say that I couldn't conceive. They didn't say these things. Like, I was healthy. My uterus and ovaries and everything healthy. It's just something that I was going through. Something that I was going to have to overcome. And so here I am now, being a living testimony And like I said before, like we have to open up our mouths more. We have to be able to, because we're all connected and we're not all going through things by ourselves. I'm not the only one. Look in the search engine and search about a bit for I can't talk, blah blah blah. Search in your, look in your search engine about being, pregnant with fibroids. Like, I'm not the only one. You may be watching because you may be going through this right now, or you may were told before, like I was, before you conceived, or you may just found out you were pregnant. I'm going to get more into all of my experiences, all my thoughts, and all the things that I was going through when, I finally found out, hey, I'm pregnant. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, guys, until the next video, I had to get this out. The enemy was he tried it, y'all. He tried it, all these outside noises and things, and the video get interrupted, but I finished it. And in fact, we're just getting started. So again, if this video was something that you felt brought you some form of value, if you're just curious to know more about, like, hey, what's going on with her, having fibroids and being pregnant, or what's going on, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the notification button so that you can be notified of the next videos that I upload. And also, please support me in liking this video. That lets me know that you appreciate this content, that you appreciate me, stepping out here and sharing my personal business with you guys. That lets me know that this is something that you want to see more of. So please definitely share. Go back and check out my videos on me talking in greater details about what are fibroids, and me even doing, this is a series that I'm working on so that you can follow the series. Also, guys, if there's something that you want to ask me that you may not feel comfortable asking me in the comments, you can send me an email personally so that I can, chat with you. Send me an email at mrscurly007@gmail.com so that we can interact. I can hopefully answer your questions. You may be going through the same thing I'm going through. Maybe you want to share something with me. Maybe you've already gone through this and you'd like me to know something. So definitely, if you feel comfortable, leave comments in the comments below. Make sure you make sure you share this video and subscribe to our channel. Help me grow the sisterhood community. And also hit me up on my email. Make sure in the subject line you just kind of put YouTube comment in the subject line in all bold letters so I know to respond to that email immediately. But yeah, guys, let's get this conversation going. Help me to continue to grow this community. Continue to, join me in this journey. I can't wait to share more things with you guys. Until the next video, I will see you guys, as you all know. And for those of you who are new, let me remind you that you are queens and that your crown was custom made, custom fitted for you. So wear it. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.